Hello and welcome to another wonderful journey together where I'm going to talk today about income loss protection. And what are you really worth? We're going to talk about your largest asset, which is your ability to earn an income. So welcome to our full service financial planning firm led by Joshua Brown, myself, a certified financial planner, CFP since 2010 and Chartered Life Underwriter, CLU, since 2012. We offer unparalleled expertise in retirement, pension, estate, and financial planning. The CFP designation represents the gold standard in our industry, ensuring you receive top-tier guidance and solutions for all your financial needs. So today, I'm going to talk about you. And what are you actually worth? And I think you're going to find after our very brief discussion today that you're worth a lot more than you thought you were worth. And everyone you're going to look at is worth a heck of a lot more than maybe you thought they were worth. So we're going to use, just going to bring up an ad here. I'll post it on the screen. I'm going to bring up an advertisement, very recent, for just a public works supervisor locally here, and the pay is for $36.89 an hour, ranging up to $50.09 per hour. That'd be for a 40-hour standard work week. Although you may most likely will end up earning a lot more because of overtime and that sort of thing, especially through the summer. With the way things are headed in Northern Ontario, you will be ahead of that. So when I look at those numbers, I take $36.89, I extrapolate that over 40 hours and then over a 52-week work week. What I am left with is $76,731.20. If we were able to negotiate for that job, maybe we have experience, we get $50.09, then we're going to be having an annual income of $104,187.20. Now, in addition to that, of course, you'll have pension benefits and other perks, so it'd probably be another $25,000 maybe on top of that. But we're talking about is for disability purposes and what we would lose. So you go home with that nice paycheck. Immediately what happens is you're going to start spending the money. You buy a new truck, you buy a house, and pretty much no matter what household I go into, I'll tell you right now, before we do a budget, every dollar is headed somewhere. Money is like water. If we pour it out, it's going to find a home, usually the path of least resistance, the path of least thought, and it'll end up somewhere. Maybe not its intended place or where we want it to be, and that's where planning comes in. So we capture that water. We make sure none of that is lost. And in a way, that water lost becomes water to drink later on instead of thirst. So what we want to have is lots to drink, not be very thirsty financially, if that makes sense. So what I do with that individual is we're going to make them disabled. So this is a 25-year-old individual. They've picked up the job. Let's say two scenarios, one at the base rate, one at the high rate. We could do a third scenario in the middle, but we'll just do two. And they've had a child. They have a wife who's maybe not working because she's home with the new baby right now. And whammo, he becomes permanently disabled at work. Maybe safety practices aren't being followed. Maybe it's a confined space. We won't dig too deep into that. I don't want to forecast any bad omen for our future supervisor here, but we'll say a lightning strike. Okay. Actually, you know what? He wins the lottery, and he has a heart attack. He wins $50 million, but it was a fake ticket. Has a heart attack, so he's disabled. Can't work anymore, doesn't have the 50 million. It was a joke. It was a fake ticket. So luckily he didn't go in and throw the mustard sandwich at the boss and say, I'm out. He goes home, he checks his benefit package, and he finds out that he's going to be entitled to about 66% of what he was making before, and no more or nor less. And that's typically how disability plans will pan out. And let's say that individual doesn't have any disability. That's the scenario we're going to play with today. So it's not a city worker, it's a contractor making the same money, but he doesn't have that protection. What are the losses, and what are the losses for our 25-year-old? What's the value in protecting this guy as well? What would happen if he can't work anymore? For a variety of reasons. Injury is just one of them. Another could be, false accusations have taken him away from his job, and it's not a disability. It's just a pure loss, and that is a scenario that would apply to the city worker. So we'll look at that contractor or the false accusation guy. So if we take these numbers and you're disabled at 25, and they're going to pay you until you're age 65. So this happened to someone I met. They went into work one morning. They were offered the opportunity to get voluntary disability insurance. Their spouse said to me, I don't know why they took that insurance, but they did. They didn't like insurance, but they, for some reason, took it out for us. Within 12 months, they were diagnosed with MS. That family was able to raise their 2 kids in their home on a nice ravine, pay off the home, put the kids through school, and the husband never had to go to work. And the wife was able to stay home and care for him because he looked ahead and made that choice with the disability. If he had not have had that, they would have had to sell the home. They would have lived in extreme poverty. And Lord only knows where those children would have ended up if mom and dad weren't working, what other type of, things they would have been subjected to, being low in poverty and being looked down upon. So 25-year-old making $36.89 an hour at 40 hours. Drum roll, $3,069,248 without being indexed for inflation. So that just means that you're just getting the same pay when you're 60 as when you're 25. They do have disabilities that are not indexed, and then they also have indexed disability plans. If we use a 40-year rate to take that gentleman to 65, with the $50.09 rate, so kind of on his upper limit, $4,167,488 and $488 is the losses that would be. Just a straight calculation. So if I wanted to get into scaring you off your chair, I'd show you the inflation number, and we'd calculate that each year that amount goes up with inflation. So as we design and develop disability insurance for our clients, we do look at that. And we look at the prospect of how old we are, the longevity of that insurance policy that we may have, and should we have indexing put in that policy. Again, you're going to think a lot differently when we're disabled and older looking at that policy than we're young and healthy. And that's the tough thing to get around is we kind of have to put ourselves in that position of, if it happened, where do we want to be looking from? And a lot of people I meet with who are really smart business owners, they have no disability protection at all. And in fact, no buy-sell agreement within the business. And it would just be, a catastrophe for and many self-employed individuals I know. We're running on the we're floating along, essentially hoping nothing will happen. And if it did, you would hope it happens in a car accident scenario, because that's pretty much the place where you would have the most protection. So your largest asset is your ability to earn an income. Maybe you have a home worth $1 million, $2 million, probably not worth 3 or 4 million for most people aged 25 and up. But your income, what you are in here, is worth millions and millions of dollars. I did a loss calculation on myself recently, and we were well over $40 million. So depending on your age, your ability to earn an income, these numbers can go really, really high. If you're like some of my colleagues, you have no cap on your income, then your actually ability to earn income is higher than a hockey player. So your risk is actually greater than what you see a hockey player taking as an annual salary. You may just not think of yourself in that light. So until next time, thanks for listening. Please leave any comments. Really want to improve. If I'm saying too much or whatever, throw that down in there. Appreciate every little detail. Like Airbnb, we want to get better and better. And better is better. So till next time, thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.